What's up, everyone? It's John from the internet, and I hope you're having a great week. Gosh, it's almost Friday. It's like 7:30 at night here in San Francisco. So hopefully the lighting's okay. I have no idea, but it's very much dark outside, and I have my halogen heater right here. Ooh, feels very warm. Oh, that's way too close. So I might have like this very nice orange glow to my face, but that's because of this. And if I start sweating profusely, well, you also know why. So maybe this will work. But anyway, if you made it through my last vlog, which was more than 30 minutes long, thank you. Congratulations, kudos to you. I was just thinking over the last few days about how long that was. I couldn't believe that I actually posted something that long. And I can't believe that some of you actually watched it. It's like literally a sitcom, like the length of a typical TV show. And I'm literally not that entertaining. But at least you don't have any commercial breaks. But I was thinking maybe like that was so boring that maybe a commercial or two would have actually broken things up. Anyway, so thank you so much for enduring that if you did. And if it was useful, that's awesome. I think I got some really great pieces of feedback, which I actually really love. I'm totally going on a tangent here, but I just want you to know that if you do comment, I really appreciate that. It is the only way right now, really, that I can get any feedback on my videos. And so I think, for many creators, I think for many people on YouTube who are doing this, it's very difficult to get like decent feedback. And I know I ask you every single time, but many of you do, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for doing that. Anyway, I love reading. I've mentioned that many times. I love reading. I got three new books recently. One is this one, which I wanted to talk about. It doesn't have to be Crazy at Work by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson. Now, they've written a couple of books before, and they're the founders of Basecamp. DHH, or David Heinemeier Hansson, is very famous for being the creator of Ruby on Rails, which I know and love and have used that for many projects. In fact, my current company and startup is a Ruby and Rails shop or product. The other book that I started reading last night, I just got it, is this insane book. I'm only like 30 or 30 or 40 pages in. Bad Blood. It's the story of the incredible company Theranos and essentially their implosion. And I'm only 30 or 40 pages in. I'm riveted. Just to learn more about like how Theranos got like put together, and Elizabeth Holmes specifically. Like, what was she thinking? That's why I'm reading this, because, I don't think the thing that I'm building, the project that I'm building is like necessarily as insane or like as big of an idea. Well, no. I'll be fair. Like, I think my idea is pretty cool. My company's pretty cool. I mean, yes, it's awesome. It's very cool. But revolutionizing that particular medical industry, that's huge. And so, kudos to her for making the attempt. The problem is that she lied all the way through. But I think I'm fascinated by. Okay, that was a piece of garlic that I just ate that I found on my pants from my garlic fries from yesterday. So that's super gross. But they were leftovers, so I heated them up. Anyway, sorry. Fascinating book. Really excited to finish that and read that, because I'm so interested in founder psychology. I'm a founder. I'm a leader of a company, And I'm constantly interested in seeing and observing and reading about how other leaders make their decisions. Now, I understand that contextually, I lack pretty much 99% of the context that makes a lot of that very useful. But the 1%, the very few amount of things that you can substantively extract from what you read can be very valuable. And even 30 or 40 minutes in, you already, like, you can immediately identify some very huge gaps in her professional life and the way that she's putting the company together. Very, very little accountability. And she did that on purpose, which, of course, is a dysfunction, right? One of the major 5 dysfunctions of a team. Anyway, it's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how you are a piece of software. So finally, we're there. You are a piece of software. And how that model of thinking can be very useful for you and I. But I was thinking, like, there's so many chapters to this book. And what's nice about the format is it's very digestible. Like, some chapters are like no more than a page or 2 long. And I like book clubs. So if you're interested, I would highly recommend getting this book. And I'll have a link in the description. And if you want to follow along with me, I don't think we need to read it like every single day, but I think I will talk about this book, over the coming year. And if you have a book, you can kind of follow along with me and give me your thoughts. But if not, no big deal. But what I love, oh my God, it's getting so hot. So what I love about this book is that it's very simple, digestible, as I mentioned, but it's also very practical. The challenge with anything that DHH and Jason write is that it really does make your head swim, because it's sound advice, but it's very, like, it's sound advice, but and you agree with it intellectually, but the hard part is actually applying a lot of this and making it work for your own context and for your own company or for your life. But I think that's where the magic happens, is most people will not go as far as even trying it. They'll be like, yeah, that's cool for your business, not for mine. Or that's cool for your life, but not for mine. And you'll the only thing that you really, like, isn't this true? Sometimes the most satisfying thing about reading a book is knowing that you read it and finished it. Which is, like, totally not the reason you read a book in the first place. Well, maybe for you, but not for me. Like, I read a book so that I can gain wisdom, insight, become a little bit smarter, maybe. Unlikely, but maybe, right? But sometimes I get to the end of the book and I realize the best thing about that experience or that investment of time was the fact that I can tell others, or to at least tell myself maybe, that I read the book. And that, of course, is a total waste. So I don't want that to be the part of my thinking and part of my practice. I don't want that to be a part of your practice. I really want to try. And they've written so many different books, great books, but they're really hard to apply. Anyway, all I had to say is, so page 10, the chapter for the first chapters is about your company is a product. Your company is a product. And that's very not hard to understand, right? The problem is that it's very difficult to apply because there is the product, which, and I'll only speak about my company, right? There's the product, the core product that we're building, which is Yen, which is this kind of singular interface or dashboard for multiple cryptocurrency exchanges. That's a big mouthful, but it's really, really cool. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So there's that product. But then there's also this other product, which is the entire business. And I'm so focused on building the core product, the product that we will actually sell, that oftentimes I forget to actually work on the business. And you hear that, all the time is, I just really need to spend more time working on the business instead of just in the business. Is that how that works? Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And they're arguing here, and it makes a lot of sense that you should spend, a good amount of time thinking about the business you're building and treating it like a product, which means that I'm going to read this verbatim. A company is like software. It has to be usable, it has to be useful. Duh. And it probably has bugs, places where the company crashes because of bad organizational design or cultural oversights. When you start to think about your company as a product, all sorts of new possibilities for improvement emerge. When you realize the way you work is malleable, you can start molding something new and something better. And that applies, I think, obviously to your company, but not all of us are company builders. Not all of us are, owners of a business. But we are owners of our life, and I thought a great extension would be to think about your life as a piece of software. That might be actually the first time you've ever even thought of it, which would be super cool. But software is meant to be changed. It's meant to be tested. It does break. There are inefficiencies. There are things to improve, just like your life. And especially as we kind of walk into the new year, that's the mindset that I really want to be thinking about for myself. Not just for my company, but for my life, that my life, this thing, my body, my physical body, my mental health, my heart, my spirit, my soul, all of that is software. And all of it needs to be reviewed, all of it needs to be taken seriously as everything else in my life. And I need to work on it. That's the thing. I need to work on it. And I need to set aside time intentionally to actually hack on it. Now, I think that I do an okay job. Not an amazing job, but I do spend a lot of time just thinking kind of at a meta level, like what the fuck am I doing? Like I think that thought passes through my head, in my brain cavity, probably 20 times a day. And I will literally catch myself, maybe sometimes muttering it aloud. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Like, and even my wife, like she's caught me muttering this to myself. Actually, that's very common for me. I will verbalize the things in my head without even knowing it. She thinks it's funny. At this point, I'm really not embarrassed by it because whatever. But I am always pretty surprised by like the things that I will audibly say that I swear I said in my head. But my wife's like, no. Like, you said that aloud because I'm repeating it to you. So obviously you said it. And we're not telepathic or whatever, right? I didn't, anyway. It's not funny. Well, maybe it is. But anyway, so that's what I want to walk into 2019 thinking, that this is a piece of software. My body, your body is a piece of software. We should take it as such. There are opportunities to improve, make it better, review, maybe destroy. Maybe there are parts of your life that you really just need to like throw away and just remove. It's just an old application, right? It's a legacy system that no longer really functions the way that it should or it once did, but it no longer is as useful. There are upgrades available. It's like oh man, right? This doesn't happen as often as it used to, perhaps. But one of the first companies that I ever had was a small software repair shop. Okay, this was when I was back in like middle school, high school, whatever. And it was like John's Computer Repair Shop. That was literally like the company name. Very original, very creative. But so I would spend time, like my spare time, nights, weekends. Sometimes I would combine it with like babysitting someone else's kid, and I would clean up their PC or typically their Windows machine. And like very often I would get there and I had a huge, remember those Case Logic, those big black Case Logic CD carrying cases? Oh my God, it's such a throwback. So I would have a huge like 48 disc size one, like, or whatever, 60. It was massive, like 4, binder, like this thing was huge, and they were all different boot systems or operating systems that were saved on the CD, the CD-ROM, and then eventually it progressed to DVD. But I also had Mega Drives. Mega Drives, is that what? I had Super Drives. I had oh shit, what was that? Oh shit, what was the oh, they're big floppies. Oh, I'm having a complete brain fart. Maybe you'll remember. Oh god, they were so funny. But I would have a ton of different install discs because more often than not, I would get to the my customer, my client's computer, and they would be 3, 4, 5 iterations or releases behind. And this was when Windows 95 and Windows 98, right? This was kind of in that time, and then but I would walk in and they had like Windows 3.1 or 3 or whatever, and I was like, okay, we actually first need to upgrade your system to something legit, because that's old software, and no wonder you're having major issues, right? And if you can even remember this, but there were some operating systems that literally just functionally did not let you get online easily. Like there were some major software issues. So if you wanted to jump on like Prodigy or AOL or shit, like whatever, I can't like you literally need to upgrade it to a new operating system. And that's how I think. Like I encounter people all the time that have old operating systems, things that they should have ditched a long time ago, but for whatever reason, and some of them are very legit, they have not upgraded. And they know it, and you know it, but everyone's acting like nothing's wrong. And that's what I think is a shame. I think that's a shame. I think a lot of the amazing things that we can experience as people are being limited. That we create these self limitations. We create limitations on ourselves because we just haven't upgraded our thinking. We haven't upgraded our diet. We haven't upgraded the way that we think about health and physical exercise and activity. We haven't upgraded our circles of friends. Holy shit, we could talk about that for ages. Haven't upgraded your work environment. Sometimes like I think one of the most important things that I do during the day is although I stand here, this is a standing desk, I do have a seat on occasion when I'm tired, but I will get up and move. And just the act of getting out of this small space, which I'm sitting right now, and moving to the couch or the table or it literally refreshes my head and my mind and my thinking, and I'm able to get through some of the hurdles, the kind of mental hurdles that I might be facing. But that's a small refresh, small reboot, But we need a much bigger refresh in our lives, I think, in some areas. Anyway, all that to say, really appreciate this book because it's already expanding beyond the topics that they're presenting, but I think it's very useful. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Does it make sense that your life and the way that you perceive it can be understood as software? Or is that just a really bad kind of extension of what they're trying to talk about, Jason and David? And 2, let me know if you're down. Let me know if you're going to get the book. And I hope it's useful. But I think I will spend, a couple vlogs here and there over the coming year talking about this book. Because I think they really force you to really consider behaviors that you just take for granted. Both personally and professionally, and within the context of building a company and a product. And I like that. I like being shook a little and being challenged. So anyway, hopefully that's useful. But again, link in the description below. Let me know if you get it. Let me know your thoughts about your life as a piece of software, or you as a piece of software. That's a helpful analogy or metaphor or whatever. But have a great Friday and weekend. Christmas is coming. That's super cool, right? I'll see you guys later. Bye.